And we're live!
Oh, nice to see you again, guys.
Yeah. Right back at you, ladies.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Definitely.
Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah. Yeah, Christmas, New Year's and everything.
Yeah, so what have you been doing then?
If someone watches Nomad channel, you know what's behind me. I've been building this garage, you know.
Yeah. That's worth.
Oh yeah, I think this is. You're a talent on that. Should we? Yeah, well, I guess it's you invented it, I guess, Thomas. But let's start. I think we start every transmission with a
Oh yes.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, viewers.
Oh, it's wonderful to be back again.
Yes.
It's been a hard Christmas with a lot of work and of course a lot of family things and a lot of food and a lot of candy and all that crap.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we're all out running now.
Yeah, not Robert.
Yet.
Not me. Because I'm too old, you say. I'll show you. That's good. All right, we're set up.
Yeah.
What's today's topic again?
Yes, today's topic is luggage.
Yeah,
Luggage.
And we had a poll, hadn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we did a poll. We did that one.
How did that end?
Well,
Did you have the numbers there, Thomas, for the poll?
One momento, por favor.
Yes, it was a poll about hard or soft luggage, the hottest topic, I guess, when it comes to luggage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we have the numbers actually. It's about 25% are going the hard way, and 75% are soft luggage. Why is that?
I think that's a very good start to have the figures. Of course, it's not science here, but I think it points to something.
Yeah, I have a little bit technical issues here because I'm doing everything at once. So I don't have the exact numbers, but it's in the ballpark that you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I think so.
Listen to me. It was 75% soft luggage and 25-ish. So could we generalize who are those 25? Could we sort of make sort of generalize who's the hard luggage rider?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I can only go from my own experience, I think. I was touring a lot with Bibi on the Pillion. And that was actually very great to have this hard luggage on a bigger adventure bike on touring, longer trips.
Yeah, so we're talking touring, and so hard luggage, they come with the wife.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's they actually make a little bit better room if you ride two up, so that could be one thing.
Yeah, how many liters? I never had these because hard luggage, we're talking metal boxes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have it there. How many liters are there?
I think if you only go with these hard boxes on the bike, I think you have like 80 liters on the bike. It used to differ on the side where you have the exhaust.
Yeah, I think when I had my BMW GSA, I think that one side is a little bit bigger than the other. So I think it was 37 liters or approximately that on one side and a little bit less on the exhaust side. And of course you have the top box on as well. But like Anders, one of our viewers today, said to us on the poll that it's kind of like it divides the community, the same with the luggage, and as if it is with the bikes as well. Like what is a adventure bike? You have the heavy bikes and you have the lightweight bikes. And I think it's kind of like they want to divide us into two groups. You have the one with the hard cases and you have the ones with the soft cases as well.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I've seen pictures from TET in insane situations, and there are bikes and they have the big aluminium boxes on there. So I mean, but I guess if you generalize, it's if you do a long tour and do touring and not that much hard off-road. I mean, if you go gravel and things like that, it doesn't matter really. It's I would say from my perspective that hard luggage stops, for me at least, when you go out on the small trails and you have roots and stones and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have the one positive thing with the soft luggage compared to the hard luggage is when you ride around on bumpy roads, when hard luggage is more attached to the bike, so they don't flex as much. So you kind of everything inside the box will jump with the rear end, as the same with the soft luggage will flex a little bit more.
Yeah, well, that's true. Actually, if you don't pack it very good, these hard boxes, then you have all your stuff bouncing around inside.
Yeah, before I started with the kind of the V60 coffee, like you see I done on my videos with the cup and the filter and everything, I used to drink Nescafe Gold, the kind of like the instant coffee things, and I had a huge glass inside my top box on my BMW, and I ride over a mountain road, and it opened up and I spilled all over the inside the top box, and believe me, that was a pain to wash out.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah, but it is interesting, so to say. I think what's the trend? What's the trend here? If you go back in time and see how we packed up our bikes.
I think looking back, when did adventure riding start? As the trend, I guess that's from of course the long way around, and they went with the beamers and the hard luggage and stuff like that, so everybody wants to copy them. And traditionally luggage has been hard, right? Plastic or aluminium and things like that.
I think my take on it is like it was soft from the beginning, actually.
Yeah, I think it's as well.
You have more...
So a lot of duffel bags and so on from ancient ad riders, so to speak. And then, as you say, Rob, you had an era from the BMWs to introduce these boxes, I think. Please comment on that in you out there if you have any different opinion.
You have the guy.
That's turned again.
You have the guy who I'm not sure his name. It's a Swedish guy who rode around on the BMW with the side cart. He built it for himself. I think he's the first one who ran through the jungle from the South America to the northern part of America. I'm not sure of his name, but when he was traveling, I do think I remember he doing hard boxes. But if you take a look at the kind of like the Godfather in ADV riding, Austin Vince, is that his name? The English guy who do the Edmondo races down in
Edmondo Enduro.
Yeah, and I think he always went with soft luggage. They kind of just packed up their gravel roads and just went.
They started with the old trunks from traveling, the old grandpa's trunk from the traveling bag, and just put it on there. But as we will come to, I'm a soft guy, not only on the outside but also on my luggage.
You're soft on the inside as well.
But I envy those who have the hard luggage for one reason that Wanderlust Adventures commented in the chat, and we want to put stickers from all the places around the world where we visit on our travels.
Oh yeah.
And where do you put them if you don't have hard luggage?
on the windscreen, on the fairings on the side, or I don't know.
Yeah, but still, it's the place to put it. Sort of like yeah.
Yeah, but have you ever seen a new hard box? How shiny it is. If you drive past the sun, it's kind of like it will feel like a reflected mirror or something. So I think a lot of the stickers you put on there is just to kind of like take away the shiny bit on the rear.
Yeah, perhaps. But then with hard luggage, we have two things regarding security. One is people claim let's start with that. You have the ability to lock them in a different way than soft luggage.
Yeah.
But to my understanding, those locks are just use a screwdriver, twist, and they're open.
Yeah, I think every security or safety from theft is just for that happening, the occasional thief. If they're determined, they will take what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm out on, I was on a trip down in Europe, down in the Swiss Alps, and around that part I had soft luggage. I had the Kriega ones, and when I bought my BMW GSA, I had hard luggage because I felt that was the kind of way to go because I had so much camera equipment. But I found that all my expensive equipment I packed in the tank bag and everything else was in the bags behind. So it's kind of like the theft will happen no matter what you do. If you are in an unlucky environment, people will try to nick your stuff no matter what you have. And I'd rather have them open my bags and steal my stuff that I can buy new and make sure to bring my camera and all my most valuable equipment on the tank bag so I can bring with me inside the stores or inside my hotel or whatever.
Yeah, but of course it's up to each one of us, of course. If you feel better locking up your bag or your box, well, then fine then.
Yeah, but it's like you have seen the locks you have on the brake cylinder in front.
Yeah.
Ask one of the nomads how that went when I was on the trip down in. You kind of forget about it, so you lock it in place, you kind of prevent from stealing, and then you start up in the morning and you go over the bike and hit the side. I'm not sure what it's called. The Abus lock.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a classic one about locks. Everyone that use disc brake locks, I think, have done that. Forgot them.
Yeah, but I also remember Stefan and Tony from Nomad. They were in Azerbaijan or some place like that, and he had the keyless BMW. So they were at a place and they stopped, and he had to get the key to open the hard box that he had. So he took the key, opened the box, and then he fiddled around there. So he left the key just for a second or two on the seat of the bike, and then he closed it, and then he rode away because it was keyless. He could ride away, and then after 20 kilometers, the no key in vicinity sort of warning lights started blinking, and that then it turned out he didn't find or have the spare key. So now the bike was running, the engine running, but he couldn't turn it off because then there was no way to get it back on. So they spent 3 hours going back 20 kilometers and trying to find the key. But they had to try to open the hard box, and they luckily had a screwdriver and just opened it up.
Oh, it was that easy.
That's for safety.
Yeah, but then lucky about the key, it was gone. It fell off the bike.
Yeah.
And he gave up, and then he went away angry as hell to take a leak on the roadside. And he almost pissed on the keys because there they were. So
no, you're kidding.
That's great. What a story.
That is insane.
Skål på den.
Skål på den.
Cheers.
All right, so then we have, okay, one more thing about the hard luggage, and that's that it can break your legs.
Oh yeah.
How?
Safety-wise,
Yeah,
it's
that
not good.
always comes up in the discussions out there in different forums. The safety part of it, that you could easily injure yourself with the hard luggage.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
if you put your foot
if you trap
down
your
and-
leg, but I've been riding with both, just hard luggage and soft luggage, and it's kind of like when you. A lot of the times when you're on gravel, sometimes you feel like your tires are going to skid out to the left or the right, and then you put down your leg just like a reflex, but your bike continue. And if you get trapped your leg underneath the side of the case there, you're going to break it right off on the rear. So I think it's safety-wise, if you do a lot of off-road riding, I do think it's much more sensible to ride with soft luggage compared to hard luggage.
Yeah, because I always have the soft panniers on the back, and sometimes I felt in an off-road situation, I just felt the bags on my legs, but it wasn't a problem because they moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my history with luggage has been to go with the soft luggage from the beginning and then hard luggage on the big adventure bike. Never happened anything like that when I was riding with that, and I was actually riding off-road with them as well.
Okay.
So but maybe I was lucky then, because if you're close to like break a leg or something, then you also need to do other type of mistakes before.
Yeah, indeed. So
yeah, that's a good
then
point.
we have the soft luggage.
Oh yeah.
And one thing that I like with soft luggage is that they don't normally, we have the semi-soft or sort of rigid soft stuff that requires panniers, luggage racks. But I really like that you just throw them over like saddlebags and strap them on, and they keep close to the bike, and you don't have that widening sort of steel structure around the rear of the bike.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think BMW has a case where they try to keep the rear luggage rack smaller or tighter than the handlebars on the side, so they always try to kind of keep it narrower. So if you're going past in traffic or going past stuff, you know that if your handlebars can take it, you know that your panniers can take it. But I love that for me, especially with when riding with the BMW, I kind of hit rocks. I felt because my handlebar was so high up, I didn't notice that. I just saw that the engine blocks made it through two big rocks, but my panniers didn't make it, so they make me kind of. And you've seen a lot of clips online that people going off cliffs because the panniers are hitting stuff.
Okay, I remember some when I've been riding with the hard luggage that I had to stop for these crossbars over the road.
Yeah,
and you just had to mount these boxes of the bike to get around this crossbar.
Yeah.
Pretty annoying, actually. But
that is actually quite a good point you make there, because hard luggage, it's way easier to just take off your bike if you need to do some technical stuff. You just hook them off and continue to ride. If you do soft bags, it's much more hassle to take them on and off and tie everything down.
Yeah, or luggage rack bags. You also have the sort of semi-soft, but perhaps they are.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. These hybrids or semi. I think they used to call them soft panniers. You use a rack, but it's a soft bag.
Yeah, but is that kind of a little bit of a trend? Because I see all the bigger brands has a variation of it. They kind of have rackless systems, but then they also have those hybrid stuff that kind of like mimics the hard luggage, but it's kind of like the best from both worlds.
Yeah, I've seen that as well when I did the research. Of course, I've seen some of the bigger brands use them, but the more I researched, the more I found on these kind of bags.
Yeah.
Really interesting. I think they have it at Moscow, Giant Loop, Givi has them, and a lot of more brands.
Yeah, I see Lone Rider
The
gear are
good
quite
thing
popular.
about the semi or the soft sort of racked bags like that is that when you don't pack them, you can sort of deflate them or so to speak, so that they get a lot more, they don't get so wide.
Yeah.
And of course you have a lot of issues that can happen to the bike if you end up bending your subframe, or you're bending all the attachment points to the bike. I do think those are attached to the subframe or the frame of the bike. So you can be unlucky to kind of break stuff off your bike that can prevent you from continue your trip with hard luggage compared to soft luggage.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's also one of these, within these topics, we'll say the argues for soft luggage as well. Because you can bend the subframe on your bike. But if you go down with the hard luggage.
But like you say, we all kind of ride with soft luggage. Is there any... So we kind of favor it for our kind of riding, but is there any negative things with soft luggage that we forget to think about because we are so happy with our own solution? Is there anything negative with soft luggage you can think of just on the top of your head?
I think we can have people in the chat remind us of get us back to earth when it comes to soft luggage, I guess. But
there's a lot of things that I miss with the hard luggage. I think one of you talked about it earlier. You can, when you park your bike for the evening, you take these hard bags and you sit on them and you cook on them and so on. You can put them full of stickers. I really miss that on the soft luggage and so on. But easy to pack, and also quick to empty them, because you always have inner bags. So you just lift out the inner bag, so they are faster to pack, I think.
Yeah, I find
that's... Yeah, well, you can have, if you have the Moscow Moto bags and so on, you have the inner bags also in soft, and you can just pull them out and so on. But then again, when it comes to hard panniers, you have the boxes and you're done. You add other stuff, but the boxes are the boxes. But when it comes to the soft luggage, there are so many different types of soft luggage also. You have a great variety of sizes, and you have the horseshoe stuff that sort of the giant loop thing, and you have
like a stuffed
the
C-sack
version. It's almost a horseshoe, but it's sort of in modules. Modular. Yeah, exactly, and then you can have almost from the big soft panniers to almost a Brazilian bikini on the sides there. That small size.
Ooh.
Yeah, of course. You have the Kriga, for example, and also Giant Loop, and as well Moscow Moto make their 10 liters luggage system for just for day rides, tools and stuff.
Yeah,
and I think that
and what
getting into the bags, it's kind of like how you pack them. Some of us are kind of like, for me, example is I like to really structure my packing. Like, I know exactly where thing is. I think it's because of my work. Everything I can do in the blindness.
It's because you're a perfectionist.
Yeah, probably. But it's kind of like when I had hard luggage, it was so much easier to have a certain spot for everything. It was so much easier to structure. Now with soft bags, I need to put everything in smaller bags to kind of, this is the clean clothes, this is the dirty clothes, this is the food stuff, and everything kind of like just mushes together. And if you want something that is down below, you need to take everything out to get it compared to hard luggage. I feel like if you're going on a longer trip with two on the bike, I think hard luggage can be much easier to structure and organize. But like you say, you can bring out the whole bag.
You can easily get these hard luggage system to contain like 150 liters with dry bags on top and so on, and the top case on the rear. I think you get up to 150 liters for that. So that's good when you have the the lady on the
That is
pillion.
insane. 100.
Yeah, because then you can have your own 10 liters there.
Yeah. Everyone knows that.
We have some questions, MC Pappan, about pricing. What do you pay for a set of hard panniers? Let's say, I'm not sure, the rack is a pricing tag also.
I think we need some help from the thread there below. When I bought this for the BMW, for example, I think we paid about 1,000 euro, maybe a little bit more. But today
it's
it needs
that
to be
much.
some other price because this entered the market, I think, in the 90s. So.
Yeah, and I bought my first panniers were the Enduristan Monsoon 3. One of the last comments, doesn't Swedish people use Enduristan? I use Enduristan, but it's Swiss, not Swedish. The brand is Swiss, but I bought them because it was such a low price. Yeah, I paid 270 euros for the 2 times 30 liters Monsoon 3 panniers.
Before I got into the Moscow, I actually looked at Enduristan as well. Because of what you are saying, it's good pricing. They are very, they are easy to handle. They're pretty lightweight as well because you don't have the outer and inner bags. Of course, you could store it with some stuff sacks inside to keep things organized, but...
Yeah, the Enduristans, they are very light. I think I have 2.7 kilos for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's, but then you go Moscow Moto and you more than double the price almost.
Yeah.
But then the price per kilo is not more because Moscow stuff are. I think Enduristan can be, especially for the panniers, can be a bit too thin. I feel that they could rip.
Yeah.
In tough situations because there are some seams and sort of.
But I've seen more. I've seen more seams that breaks more than kind of like the asphalt is rubbing through or the gravel is rubbing through.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like more like the how it's put together is more fragile than the rubber itself.
Yeah, because you have the straps over the saddle and they connect to the actual bag, and there's stitching, of course, and that part actually ripped for me.
Yeah.
And I heard people that got things ripped. But I had my Moscows now, my Enduristan Monsoon bags for 4 years, and they've been great.
Yeah, that's good.
But then I bought a Moscow, the top Duffel that we can speak about later. But if Enduristan is on the light side or thin side, Moscow is almost too rugged. I mean, you have the Panzer outside, and then you have the super thick inside bag and everything.
Yeah.
Only the Duffel weighs more than my whole pannier things there.
But one of the things when you see these designed soft luggage systems, that was one thing that worried me actually. What you are speaking with, if you rip it. And you don't really have the ability to repair it, then you have a hole there and you can easily get into some trouble during your tour to fix them. So I will show you something even lighter than your thing if people out there like the visuals. This is a harness that you can easily put on every bike out there that I have used for many years on my 690. And as well on the 790 and as well on the BMW before. It's easy to strap on the bike, and then you just grab one of these. I happen to use these Ortlieb dry bags, a lightweight version of them.
Yeah.
That are very rugged. But if you rip it, you just stop at you like Biltema or like any store that have a dry bag, a canoe bag or something, and you just use that instead. So it's very, very easy to fix along the road almost anywhere.
Yeah, and it's the market for panniers is kind of huge these days. It's kind of like everybody wants to get your money, and of course, like you said, the Moskomotos, the quality and the thickness of that product is just crazy compared to a lot of the competitors. But like you say, a lot of people just want to put everything into a big bag, like from Biltema or any other cheap brand, and just as long as it's waterproof, it doesn't matter. They just strap it on with kind of like the homemade solution and a go. And I think, have we lost a little bit of that adventure stylish kind of thing that makes things cheap and make it easy, compared to now everything is all about products and doing what is right or what is light or whatever?
Yeah, somewhat.
I think that's why we have this channel, because there are so many questions out there. What should I use? What should I do? What should I have? And just take your Superstore bag and duct tape it to the rear of your bike and go.
Yeah.
So
it should never be the only one thing that hinders you to go on that venture, if you don't get the bags that you have been looking for a while.
Yeah, but it's kind of like it's like you say, it's a really hot topic. A lot of people are asking me kind of like the most insane questions when it comes to how to mount it, how to put it, how to pack it. Everything is kind of like always into the really finer details. And instead of the questions being, what do I need to go for a trip or to an adventure, we are more interested in how to pack our bikes than actually what we're packing on our bikes to have a good trip towards in the forest or on the mountains or whatever.
That's another topic, isn't it? It's another topic for another episode here, what we have in the bags.
Yeah.
But I think it's very interesting. You know, one thing with that system I showed you before, that harness is called a soft rack. And then you could put anything on it, and you can have 80 liters on that as well.
80?
But, yeah,
that's
that one that I showed with it, two of these one is 50 liters, almost as the Reckless 80 that I have. So I replaced this one with the Reckless 80 from Moskomoto, and I was what I wanted was that easy to pack with these revolver. How to say? You just put your dry bags in
the holsters, revolver holsters. Yeah,
a lot more organized, because this system that I showed you, that requires that you pack stuff in them accordingly to just strap them, because you need the things in your bag to fix the bag. So you probably need the stove on top to just lock these bags on the bike. So I was so happy to actually change out them. But there is no more lightweight system actually than this one. So if that's most important, it's great. Wasn't very expensive either.
No, and that is, for me, my experiences. I have hard luggage from B&W. I'm not sure who made those. I bought them with the bike when I bought them. And I did have the hard panniers from KTM as well. But they had a side latch or hatch, or I'm not sure the name. But you kind of open them from the side and up. It was kind of top hinges. Yeah. And it was so completely rubbish, you won't believe it. You couldn't pack those bags half full before everything kind of went out when you tried to find stuff inside there. It was really hard to organize. But
that's so-called touring bags?
Yeah, I would probably rate them as touring bags.
You have to have inner bags in them, probably.
Yeah, and I did have Moskomoto and Aristan, and those are kind of the two I'm most happy with, and the ones I get most questions with, because I feel like those two are the ones that I bring on some or most of my adventures. I have the Aristan for those are easier to modulate, to kind of like only bring if I go to a camp and I want to rig a campsite for a couple of days, and then I just take off the top bag or the side bags, and I can ride with the rock strops and the top bag. And with the Moscow, I feel like I bring with me all the equipment every time I'm out riding. If I go to camp and I take out the side holsters, it's kind of flimsy on the side, so you always need to stuck something in there to keep the modulated form to be better on the bike. Of course, you can take the whole rack off and put on just the stinger on top, but still you need to bring extra straps with you to make that happen. And the fact that the Moskomoto is side loaded on the stinger compared to the Aristan that is top loaded, that is a huge difference when it comes to easiness of use on the road for my experience.
I agree actually, because I also have both side stuffed and also one that go along the bag.
Yeah,
and it's different.
Yeah, and those are two things, because I have the Endustron Tornado, which is top loaded.
Yeah, same as me.
Like that, and I love that when I'm in the camp, because I have the camping gear and stuff like that in there, and you open it and you can choose what you want to get out. But when you're on the road, you cannot open that. You have to loosen 6 straps to get into the bag. Because you have the rock straps, and then you have 2 on the sides, and then you have 2 for the roll up of the bag. So it's great in camp, but then for the last long trip that we did, which was not camping, but that means we had only one bag, this 30-liter Moskomoto, and I got that because it's so easy on the road to get access to things from the sides, and also the beaver tail and stuff like that. But
I agree. I also have that top opening with the older system that I showed you, and then get to Moscow to get everything from the side without doing anything with straps was so nice.
Yeah, but then when we got to camp with one bag, camp in this case, hotel in Turkey, but
nice camp.
Yeah, but if I chose it because I wanted to access stuff on the road, and that was great. But then you come to where you're going to sleep, and the only way to get whatever is inside the bag is you open it on one side, and then you empty everything.
Yeah.
Because it's a nightmare to even know what's in there.
But okay, that surprised me a lot, because I was into that. Maybe that's also for the next topic, how you pack and so on. Because the thing with this, I also have this backcountry duffel bag. And
of course. You pack the things that you want most accessible on the side, so that you can get it from that. But when you want to access, when you're ridden for the day and you get to where you're going to sleep, you want to access everything in the middle that you don't need on the. So I always emptied the entire bag, while if it was top mounted, you could pick and choose whatever. So yeah, but still, as a one bag solution on the road, that was. The pros outweighed the cons there.
Yeah, probably. That's also a topic here. We haven't talked about that. It's volume, different volumes for different rides.
Yeah, and I think that is highly individual, because some people, like me, for example, I really like spending time in the woods or on the mountains with my tent or my hammock. So for me, I kind of favor as much as possible, but still keep as lightweight bike as possible. And of course, you need your tent, you need your sleeping bag, you need your sleeping pad, and you need your cooking gear, and you need everything. And so kind of like it adds up to quite a huge volume. Even if it's quite lightweight in a way, it still brings a lot of volume. So for me, I found that I have one setup for day trips where I just put the tornado on the rear with all the kind of like the coffee gear and that stuff, or food I bring with me. But when I go camping, I do bring my Moskomoto setup, because I find like the side bags is quite good, but the small pockets behind that, the auxiliary pockets, or what's they called, with the smaller things, you can have like toilet paper or my coffee mug or knife or saw, and
exactly what I have there as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's just the ease of structure. But especially for me with my OCD, that is just such a great setup when I have the complete package packed for a trip.
I can't imagine to see you, Thomas, do like Rob, get to the camp and just empty it.
That won't happen at all, actually.
That's not really Thomas. I don't think.
Yeah, but you don't even bring lederhosen or anything. So I mean, when we get to the what we pack, that's going to be an interesting episode also.
Yeah,
we should do the video trick where you pull out and like you see on the Austin Powers video when they do inside the tent with the shadows, they just bring out ropes, paddlers, and everything. It's like a canoe is coming out of the bags. So yeah,
that's one thing I need to hijack this a little bit.
Yeah,
for you out there, I wonder if one of you to these Zega bags, this old type of Zega bags, has the table. I miss the table for these bags. Believe it or not, I use these bags more than ever, or these boxes, because I use it in the van. I always have these in the rear of my van because they organize stuff so good and I can sit on it, like we talked about on bike travels and so on. But I need the table. I can't find it either at Touratech's website as well. So someone out there that have pensioned, they retired these boxes but have the table and want to get rid of it, contact me.
That's good. So what about the infamous pizza delivery top box?
Oh, the top box.
Yeah, it does not get in the way of your feet in off-road. It's back up there, and so what do you think about top boxes? I'm talking about the hard case makeup boxes on the rear.
Imagine yourself having a guy or person behind you, and you put them as far away from your back as possible, and then you put something a little bit higher and a little bit longer back. That is what I think of top box.
Yeah, there are two things with top boxes. If you ask me, Rob, I think that they are ugly as hell. I have never used them except for in two situations. When we did touring, me and Bibi, I had a Givi top box. This was perfect for her to have as a rest.
Yeah, the backrest.
Yeah, and then when I commuted to work, it was also good. But you just put your helmet in it because it fit.
But when you were on these Wi-Fi trips with the hard
what did you call it?
And the top box,
the Wi-Fi
and
trips.
everything, and she was leaning on the top box and everything. So she's even leaning against it. So
and she felt sleeping as well.
Did your front wheel ever touch the ground, or what? How did you sort of feel the behavior of the bike?
At that time, I didn't have the electronics, and anti-wheelie crap that I have on the KTM is of course turned off. But you're on it here, because if I just throttled the bike, it was poof, front wheel immediately. And on the Stelvio pass, you could imagine you get upways and a lot of weight in the rear, Bibi falling asleep or wanted to have a stop and take two Jägermeisters and then go home because she hated this, especially the Alp passes.
but I feel, I mean, I guess if you pack a top box smart, you don't put the heaviest things.
No.
But because it is the worst place to put load.
Definitely.
On a bike. I mean, the center of gravity is where the engine is approximately. So the more things you can pack around the engine, that's the best.
Yeah, but Ryan from Fort9, Ryan, the famous Ryan, he had a quite interesting video about that topic, because it's kind of like a little bit of a myth, because it's not about center of gravity, because everything you put on the bike in total makes kind of like the. So I think a lot of people have a misconception of the lower center of gravity. The bike alone, but as soon as you stand or sit on the bike, you change the center of gravity a whole lot. So the top box, I don't think will interfere too much with that, and except when the bike is standing on the side stand, parked for the night.
Just do the classic thing, you know, if you throw a dart arrow.
Yeah.
If you throw it as you should, it hits the
bull every time.
Yeah, but if you take it on the feathers and throw it, it still goes with the arrow first or the point first, and you wonder why. Because it's heavy there. So if you load
because
your
now you have the panniers on the side,
always wants
and
to
the
turn.
big rolls.
Yeah,
the roll bags on top of the panniers, and then you have this duffel bag, and then you have the top box.
Yeah. Always want to turn. So if you have the friction to the ground, if you lose it, the bike wants to turn around.
Yeah, like the boats, it's kind of like it goes around to the Yeah.
So let's leave that for those who really need it for their profession.
But that's
I guess.
But it's an interesting topic, because these duffel bags that you put on top, they are easily getting as heavy as a top box as well.
Yeah, I think the only thing that changes is the placement of them, because like you said, the 35 liter on the rear compared to a top box that are half the size, a little bit longer back, does it make a difference?
It does.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because many top boxes are over the tail light, that way back.
Yeah.
That's where it starts and goes out, extending.
Yeah, probably.
Sort of as the furthermost back thing on the entire bike.
For me, when I did ad riding with these hard boxes, I always used the soft bag on top instead of that Givi box.
But when you see pictures of bikes that are really overloaded with tires on the frame on the front and on the other side, and you have those kind of like the small bags on the crash bars on the side, and you have extra thing in front with the windscreen, and it's kind of just overloaded like hell, and you see the suspension is really low and the bike is really tilted. Why can you ride a bike like that around the world without no issue? Is the top box really that much of a difference?
No, there have been top boxes around the world as well. This is only about preferences and physics and how you like to ride the bike.
Yeah, because I think that top boxes do have their place in this world, because a lot of, like you said, use there for their businesses or the commuting to work, and it's really easy and accessible and easy to lock and everything. So I think it's but does it alter the kind of like the way your bike feels and handles on the road that much? Do you have good
if you load it, I guess. If I don't know how much a top box out over the taillight weighs empty, 2 kilos.
Yeah, let's say 2 kilos.
Something like that. You won't feel that, I guess.
But if you put 10 kilos
then
in
it depends how you load it, of course. But for me, I'm a very vain guy, and I think top boxes. I wouldn't have a top box because it looks that damn ugly on the bike.
Yeah, but I do think I'm kind of feeling the whole vibe here. I think that it has more to do with our vanity, or what it's called, than it is to practical. Because I think in practical, I don't think it doesn't change that much to the bike, but it looks ugly as hell. We can all agree on that, but I don't think it will alter how the bike performs that much compared to how we pack it with a stinger on back or a duffel bag, or what it's called.
I think one of the main reasons with the top box is to store the helmet in there when you're not using it and leaving the bike. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think that will be the main reason. But then there are top boxes that you can't fit your helmet in, and then you can wonder why is that. I think
Because
that
you deliver pizza.
Yeah, but I have heard and seen that before, that that has been disappointments for guys who have got the top boxes, so they can't get the helmet in there, and that was the whole idea.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So what else do we have on the bike? I guess we've covered the back. We have the panniers and the top sort of duffel roll bag or whatever you put there, top boxes. But I guess we have also the tank bag.
Yeah.
And tank bag is also something I bought a tank bag because when you start, you buy what you ought to buy because you need things. But I quickly stopped using tank bag because I think it was in the way of rubbing against when standing up, going off-road and things like that.
I thought you had an issue with that even if we didn't have a tank bag, but that's for another episode. But
yeah, that's how I'm built. So let's take that in a different.
But for me, I've always ridden with the tank bag. But that is mainly
that's the soft part of you, Rob.
Yeah, but that is mainly because my camera gear and all the things I bring and I want to have in handy. And another thing, it's really easy to take on and off the bike and to have the valuables stored inside the tank bag compared into the rare stuff. It's so convenient, and because I'm quite tall, it doesn't interfere with my legs in that the same way. I probably you have a kind of narrow bike on the T7, but on the World Raid or the KTM or the GSA, all those bikes had quite wide tanks, so it wasn't an issue.
Yeah, so I only now started thinking of having to use a tank bag again because I'm a videographer or whatever you call it.
You're a videographer.
As you guys are, and you tricked me into buying a big camera.
Nope.
Which is why I have such a fancy streaming right now.
Wrong. You did it all by yourself. We just kind of give you the great, or how to say it, we just give you the push over the edge.
Yeah, you just wanted it, Rob.
So I mean, I've used the iPhone and the GoPros and stuff like that. You can have that wherever. You don't need a tank bag for that. And then in that case, if you don't need to put your cameras and stuff like that or drones or whatever in there, I didn't. Yeah, the cons outweighed the pros. But now I have this big camera and I want to use it quickly. So I'm forced to start using a tank bag again for the occasions when I bring the big. Sorry, that was the beer.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So.
That's great. It will be interesting to see you use that, Rob, and get used to it. Personally, the bottom line is that I hate those tank bags in one way. But I have a tank bag today because I use it for camera stuff and organizing things. And even if I go with the bike on a day trip, I either get the tools in a tail bag, a small one, or I get the tank bag with tools and other stuff that I need. But one thing, many of us hate them when we ride off-road. But to be honest, it works.
The tank bags,
it works. Yeah, it works.
I'm really happy with mine. And the Moscow Motor one, you can attach, like you bring it in like a backpack when you're, or rucksack, is that the word? When you go around. So I think, well, okay, you have the pouches in front on the handlebars. I'm not sure what they call. I think Wunderlich and a couple of other brands have those small.
I have the small zigzag.
Yeah, like kind of for your sunglasses or your phone and stuff. And I think that is a really valuable option as well. But the tank bags are really, really important if you like to take photos or you like to take videos, because the ease of access and the quick access, you can actually, like me, I put up my drone all the time and just sit on the bike, open up, put the drone in your hand and just let it go in the air and kind of start flying it. It's just, if you have to stop the bike, go off the bike and go back to the rear to pick it out and to set it up, it would take too much time and I wouldn't bother doing it. So I think it's a 50-50 thing. A lot of people hate it. I absolutely love it. I couldn't be without it.
Yeah. I have the Enduristan tank bag. The one thing that is super great with it, it's completely waterproof.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need to put the shower cap on it. Yeah, but the fastening, sort of the way you mount it to the bike,
the straps
is terrible.
Yeah, but I don't
because you have some sort of harness that you take around the steering stem and then some straps up and so on. And when you stop to fill up gas, you have to loosen all this, and it's fiddly, and you have to turn the tank bag sort of upside down on the side and things like that. So I'm about to try out the giant loop Fandango.
Yeah, the one you can open to the side with the.
Yeah, and it's just a zipper, and you have the bra on the bike. Sort of, it sits there, and you can detach the whole bag from it.
I saw
you
easily.
get a lot of sand in those zippers when you're riding off-road, and then you...
Yeah, that is one topic, because I saw Greg Villalobos actually had a video just about that specific tank bag for camera gear and stuff. And like you say, Matthias, the gravel or dust inside the zipper can be a problem. And I felt that on the Enduristan tank bag as well, because that one is waterproof, and the dust seal or the kind of the zipper on that is really hard to take up and down if you don't put on silicone spray on it after a while when you're riding off-road. But it's quite a own technique and taking on and off a tank bag, and I have a couple of years of experience with that, because the only bike that I really had an issue to connect my tank bag in a proper way was with Tenere 700, because the stem and how to say it, where the steering wheel are connected with the frame is quite low. So you have to kind of adjust it, and under the steering damper and everything, it's quite hard to connect it on and off when you're filling up the tanks. But when you find the correct way to connect it, it's quite easy, and you need to scoop back on the saddle a little bit, and you just put it down in your lap, so you have the tank filler cap available right in front of you. So you don't need to disconnect it all the way or flip it upside down. You just need a little bit of technique and a finesse, and then you...
that's great.
And the T7, I mean, it's I have the standard version, as you know, and the tank is quite high on it, so putting a tank bag on there builds almost like a steam engine chimney on the bike. You have to look over it almost.
I was thinking about that as well. We have different bikes out there, and tank bags fit different.
Yeah, but
so
when you went on to that topic,
I'd like to have a more low profile.
But what happened to your utility vest, like the Commando SWAT team thing you got going?
Yeah, my tactical Supreme SWAT. Attack vest.
Tactical stuff.
Yeah. I tried that as an alternative, because also, as mentioned, I film using the iPhone normally on the roads, because it's just on a little pouch here, and bam, you have it ready. And I have quick access, and that's instead of using a tank bag, because then I have the documents and the papers in the papers, yeah. And then some microphones and wipes and whatever around here, and you have something on the back, and so I like that one. I do, but I guess we went on a really hot trip around Turkey and so on. And when it gets close to 40 degrees, you have only the mesh armored jacket and perhaps a MX shirt on, and you get the air flowing. But then you strap on this tactical vest, and you close everything, and you start sweat like a pig again. So, yeah, I don't know if pigs sweat, but
you know, it's a little bit of a step off what we're talking about. But I had how to say it, the back protector with a vest, like you had the one on the chest as well, and you had a zipper on the side, so you put it on like a t-shirt, and that was really compact. It was really tight to your body, and everything was just really good. And then I had a trip around Europe with that thing on me, and I got the worst rash you could imagine before I went on the ferry back home to Norway on the DFDS Seaways. And I remember when I took it off, my chest looked just like a sore asshole. I'm not sure how to better explain it, but it was scratching.
I think you have to explain it.
I was into the shower and everything was hurting. I was laying in bed and I was, what the F is this? And I just went down. When I was packing my bike again, I just threw it away behind some containers inside the parking area of that boat because it was so damn rubbish. I would never have that again.
Yeah, I've seen the comments here that real bikes have a rear tank bag. That's an interesting one. Do you get that one?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of guys do that. But imagine yourself. I've seen a couple of guys use the Pelican, like the SWAT briefcase stuff you see on action videos. They have that on the rear instead of a top box or a tank bag behind. But imagine yourself putting your camera gear inside there and you're riding on bumpy roads. It will. Yeah, I think that is crazy. The vibration.
I think you're overdoing it here, Thomas, because I don't know that guy, but I think he's riding a 690. Okay, because then you have to have the tank bag on the rear.
No, I did. I rode my 690.
My 690 I hated to have a lot of things to pack up in the rear end, and then you stop for a fuel up.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
I hated it.
Yeah. And
but
you
the
only had
system is great because that's a hole in there, because so it's easier to fill up in the rear.
And on the 690 it was only 12.5 liter fuel cap as well, or fuel tank, so you really need to fill up all the time.
Yeah.
Oof.
And I also got a question here from loggers that why I don't speak Japanese when driving Yamaha, not KTM German. And I'm sort of the black sheep of the family because my relatives, my father is Austrian, and that's 20 kilometers from Mattighofen, where some of my relatives work. And my cousin is married into the founding family of the KTM brand. But I ride Yamaha.
Hey,
Yamaha.
I remembered something when we were speaking of KTM. When you go back to the 950 and 990 era of bikes, then they have the Hepco and Becker plastic one as OEM bags, didn't they?
Yeah, probably.
I have no idea.
I'm not that old. I don't remember so far behind. When was the 919 in the early 2000?
You have them in the mid 2000 and on.
But to finish off the tank bags, something I think looks very strange is the twist, sort of the cap mounting things. It looks like a dog that got a tick. It sort of sits on there like a parasite.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? This little spaceship thing that floats above the fuel cap.
Yeah, you have SV
Moto.
Yeah, SV Motec and Givi have the quick release plates. You put on the tank lid kind of way, so you easy can take it on and off. But then it's like almost like a really long hat,
like a horseshoe on the fuel cap.
Yeah, it's like it's like a little hat for the bike. Yeah. And I guess one thing that is good is that you don't have anything rubbing on the paint and stuff like that. It's just floating on top, because otherwise you have these harnesses or mounting straps and things like that.
I got a really good solution for that.
With that to have your camera, Rob.
I have a really good solution for that. Just give me.
Okay, we lost Thomas.
That's something for you.
In the magical
did
shelf
you draw
behind.
something?
This roll is not. This is not a pirate map. This is a silicone, transparent vinyl wrapping. So when you put this on your tank, the rubbing or the paint will not scratch. So I do this on all my bikes. I put it on where my tank bag is located, and that will just prevent the from scratching. And this is you can get this in most places where they do vinyls or wrapping or car or like the info signs, the billboards. Yeah, this is amazing and really easy to attach.
That OCD message.
Yeah.
As mentioned, I'm not really that serious about keeping my bike completely scratch-free and so on.
And that's why you have a vinyl wrap around your whole bike, or is it just for show?
It's just so people don't see it, and I can see it in a podcast like this and say that I don't.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I want my scars on the bike to be like Clint Eastwood. They need to be action scars, not just rubbing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
so do we have
we're up to 1
something
hour. Do we have any? Did we miss anything?
Probably.
Any comments or questions out there?
There's a lot of chat. I'm sorry, but we haven't really looked enough on the chat because it's quite active, and that's interesting.
Yeah, that is really nice. It's really, and I really like to get back watching the episode after we do the show to just look around the chat and to kind of evaluate all the questions that comes in. It gives a really good feedback for us to do another episode or just address the stuff that you guys bring up.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I also see Matthew there. If I'm going to have a pole dancing bar here in the background later, I'm open for everything. This is a man cave. Ooh. And
I'm not sure if you know, but I have a Borat, you know, the green string.
Yeah, the mankini.
Yeah, the mankini. I do have that. I can show up and do a little spin around that pole.
Yeah, I knew you had one.
Of course, I'm a firefighter. I know how to get up and down a pole. Okay, when I said that out loud, it heard way worse than I actually meant it. Damn!
This could be interesting. All right, so how should we wrap up this?
Wrap it up.
Say something stupid, worse than I did.
That's great. I think this is funny. Do we have any questions out there that could be relevant or something? We had
they are all relevant. They are just putting up with us, and I think Sundays it's a good time to have this show because they need a reason to not do the dishes after the supper or whatever. And yeah, let's do that. And we have a lot of topics that is on our list. So let's do that. And let's not wait so long until the next episode, I guess. But now we've done all the...
This was quite special because of Christmas and New Year's and everything. So, and of course, we have a couple of really interesting guests we want to bring on the show. But we not sure if we want to do that live or just do a recording of it and put it out for you guys. So we have a lot of planned in the upcoming months.
Yeah, interviews
in our luggage. All right, then I'm happy.
Me as well. It was a really good one, and it's really nice to chat with you again, guys. It's always nice to see your faces on the screen.
Yeah, so let's continue the topic in the comments after this video is out, and let's just...
Yeah, and I highly recommend you guys, if you have something that you really would like us to cover, please leave that in a comment down below afterwards so we can address it. It's much easier for us to see then.
Yeah.
And don't also forget to It's also a reason to grab a beer for a Sunday just to show up here as well, isn't it?
Oh yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Hanging out. All right.
Okay, on
And I
that
think
bombshell.
Are we
On
happy
that.
with all our gears and our luggage? Are we happy with it?
Yeah,
I'm really happy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
So,
too.
signing off. Who pressed the button? I will press the button.
I pressed the button.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Yes.
Bye bye.
See you.